How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. This is the Zendure SuperBase V. It has 4,608 watt-hours of power. Whenever a power station has Wi-Fi access and app control, you're looking at paying somewhere between 70 cents and $1 per watt hour. So if it's a 4,600 watt-hour battery bank, it retails for around $4,600. If it doesn't have Wi-Fi, you might go as low as maybe 65 cents per watt hour. In their upcoming Black Friday deal, they're reducing the price on this to $2,699. So this comes out to be 58 cents per watt hour. You might wonder, does it really have that much capacity in there? Well, I tested that. Measuring the energy it takes to charge this from 0 to 100, it takes 6,279 watt hours. You might go, why is it more than 4,600 watt hours, which is the capacity of this thing? That's because whenever you do a conversion into the battery, there's some inefficiencies in the charger, and normally the loss is around 20%. When I took this 100% full battery bank and dumped the energy back into my car, I measured a total output of 4,385 watt hours. Even though it's a little bit less, is because when you turn it on, the internal inverters consume a little bit of electricity, the LED lights, the display over here. Not only is the watt hour really cheap on this thing, it even has powered wheels. I'm about the weight of a satellite battery, which is 100 pounds. I'm a little bit more than that. Turn off all AC and DC and remove all the cables and confirm that cables are disconnected. Keep in mind, you're not supposed to sit on this thing. It's quite dangerous. Probably would even void your warranty. I'm gonna move this thing around. It's like a go-kart. It doesn't actually have all that much power, but it will push you around. My garage has a slight incline, so it goes downhill a little bit better than uphill. Without it, whoa. Okay, and when the power wheels are on, you don't want to let it loose. It can just keep on going on itself. See, it just keeps on going forward until it hits something. So I'm just gonna use my hands and hold it until it stops. If we're not sitting on it, we can control it and not have to push this 100-some pound thing around and let it roll itself. The turn radius is not that great, but it will work in a pinch. See, I'm trying to make it turn back to us here. So turn right. Gotta get it going a little bit. It's kind of like a neat party trick. The back has an AC input. You can put in 100 to 240 volts up to 15 amps. This Zen charge plug here allows you to connect to one of their home panels. So unless you have a bigger system, you won't be using this. On the bottom, you have a battery port that allows you to connect up to 4 additional satellite batteries. This is an XT90 plug for solar connections. And amazingly, it can do up to 3,000 watts input just from this little thing here. It comes with this cable, however, if you plug it in, it can only charge up to 1,800 watts. I'll plug it up here. If you want more, you need to somehow get 240 volts, 15 amps into this plug. Plugging in their standard cable, the relay clicks. It's topping out at around 1,600 watts. In order to charge this thing at that much power, you need some special plugs. I have a 240 volt 6-50 plug here, and it looks like this. It's a special cable. This would go in there. And on this end, it's called a 6-15. It's your regular 110 volt connector, except on one side, you see it's a horizontal blade rather than a vertical. And then you buy the male plug side to this, then goes to the C13 plug that goes in the back of the SuperBase V. Plug it in, it fits in there. Plug this in, it fits in here. Plug it into this unit. I'll turn on the breaker. Now it's charging close to 3 kilowatts. I've seen it at 34 kilowatts when the battery capacity was a bit lower. These are the front wheels, just basic casters. Just push it down and you can't move it around. The locks are on both wheels, so do both of them. Look at these solid aluminum pieces holding the wheels. Very, very sturdy construction. This right here is just a handle. It's on both sides. There's a physical slow or fast charge in case you just want easy access to this and charge it slowly all the way down to 400 watts. Even charge it with a car adapter over here. Of course, car adapters can only go up to about 100 watts or so. So if you're not using them, you can put the covers back on, Slide this back into place. Comes with a satellite battery cable, even if you don't buy a satellite battery. This is a pretty beefy battery cable, and it has some communication lines and also some power lines. These ports can do up to 1800 watts total, but combined with these, it can output up to a total of 3800 watts. The general rule of thumb is whatever capacity it is, let's say it's 4600 watt hours, it can output 4600 watts. So where did the rest of the 800 watts go? Well, at the same time, you can output all these DC output stuff. There's a USB, 12 watts right there, USB-C power delivery, 2 of them. So 2 100 watts right there. There are 2 more 20 watts. There's another 12 watt here. And on the side, there's a 30 amp Anderson that can do up to 378 watts, 10 amp car outlet up to 126 watts, DC 5521, 2 of them that can do about 36 amps. There's a communication port here, and you can turn that on by pushing it. This is a TT30 plug, also known as an RV plug. These are high amperage 20 amp ones. So we can plug that in here. I have to turn it to RV mode. The difference between these 2 modes is the top one allows for 240 volt output. So if you don't need 240 out, you would use RV mode. So this will allow you to do 1800 watts from one of these plugs or 3600 watts from this plug, but the combined cannot be more than 3800 watts. Let's try to max out everything. I got this heater plugged into the AC, this heater, and this hairdryer plugged into the TT30 RV port. So let's turn each of them on one at a time. This one, 1300 watts. This Dyson by itself is doing 1200 watts. Let me turn this one on too. Okay, it turned it off. Luckily, it can recover. I'm gonna turn these 2 on because it's not as noisy. So now we're doing 2000 watts. Let me turn on this heater. And it's coming out of this port. So now we're very close to the theoretical limit. 3400 watts. Anything over 1000 watts, put 2 of them on the RV port and 1 of them on this guy. And it's relatively happy. It's doing that for a minute or so now. Very warm here. So when I added all 3 and tried to use the lowest setting on the hairdryer, now I forced it to overload. So that's good. Now we can see if it can gracefully recover. Maybe if I turn it off. No, I just gotta press the on button 1 time. Everything turns back on now. Now we're back in business. 3000 watts out. I never imagined I can run 3 heaters from 1 single battery bank. The front RGB lights, it's a nice touch. It might not be for everyone. And if you click on the light, it actually has a lot of different modes that you can pick from. Camping mode, there's a party mode, night light mode, so it's gonna be fairly dim, roadside breakdown mode, firefly mode, normal light, strong light, and SOS mode. And then you can also pick the color over here. 0% brightness to 1% brightness, that's really dim, or 100%, and you can pick your color. Or just pick a color from one of those below. See, I can turn on and off the AC output via the app or turn on the DC. You can also set the charge limit to 100%. If you don't want to charge it all the way up to 100% all the time, the lowest it'll go is 70%. You can also change the slow charge speed from 400 all the way up to 3600 watts. There's a discharge limit because sometimes you just don't want to discharge too much because that could damage your battery. You can increase that all the way from 0 to 30%. The higher you make it, the less capacity you can use, but the lower that you make it, the less lifetime that you can get. Also, there's a power flow chart and an energy consumption graph. You can use these to visualize how much energy that you get from solar or the power that you're taking from the grid or how much electricity you're pulling out of the battery. On the top of the device, there are these rubber placeholders. If you remove them, they just come out and you can store them away. These slots allow the satellite battery to sit in these grooves and it won't fall off. This little piece here is just a relief hole for the satellite batteries to connect to each other. If you don't have a satellite battery, you don't have to worry about that. Just leave that where it is. At the front, there's also a handle. You can push it and it comes all the way out. The hinge is very sturdy and you can use this to pull the entire device around. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys are interested in getting one of these, there's a very steep discount. It's only available on Black Friday on November 23rd, 24th, and 27th. Specifically, it won't be available on the 25th or 26th, which is a Saturday and Sunday. Really, really good deal per watt hour. And it's kind of like getting the Power Wheels for free. Check out my affiliate link down in the video description below if you guys are interested. It's best to have one giant battery bank that you're pulling energy out of rather than a lot of small ones where the capacity could be distributed and you can't access them. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.